Hello and once again to Safnir's Final Fantasy XIV Xbox Help Guide. This part is going to be controller and hotbar. I'm not going to go over too much because I don't want to overload y'all, but I just want to give y'all some hints about how to use your controller. I'm logging in using one of my other characters for this little endeavor, and I'm actually having my camera on showing y'all that this game that I play it on controller, my main controller button. So let me go down to the bottom of my house, that way we're not interrupted by a bunch of other people and bunnies. If you're wondering how you get that, well, I can't tell you because spoiler, lol. Okay, so how do I get my I started the game, my controller setup doesn't look like this, my HUD layout doesn't look like this. I'm going to show you how to change the HUD layout later. Oh my gosh. But, oh, I'm sorry, I actually really like the song. But for now, gosh darn it, let me just go outside, that's actually pretty loud. So, I'm using one of my characters who's at an undisclosed part in the campaign. Yada yada yada, blah blah blah, spoilers bad. Spoilers very, very bad. Okay, so I'm on controller, my hotbar doesn't look like all the streamers, they have all these extra buttons. How do we unlock those? Well, Xbox fam, I'm going to show you why we have them like this and what is the purpose. So first, you need to understand where to find that. It's in character configuration under hotbars. You can go over here for your controller setting. You're going to figure all this out, target cone, stuff like that, how to filter, target cycle, all this other stuff. I'm going to be honest with you. This video is mostly for how to set up your hotbar. The game will give you light tutorials about that, even your UI, stuff like that. So let's get to how do we expand our hotbars. Well, these hotbars are mostly for PC, mouse, and keyboard. You can show these hotbars if you enable them. I don't know where that one's going to be set up, but honestly, you don't really need them for mouse and keyboard because you have this. Shared hotbar is where we're going to start. If you see the highlighted hotbars, those are the hotbars that are shared across all my classes. So, what does that mean? Well, let me show you how to first change your hotbar. You're going to hold R1 and select the corresponding hotbar, which is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that you see in between the other two action items. So if I hit, I think 4 is my other classes. If I hit 4, it changes the bottom hotbar. The lock on it means that I can't accidentally take off any abilities or stuff like that. So right now, I'm playing my Gunbreaker, and if I switch over to Samurai, well, now my Samurai weapon's out. But wait, some of the buttons are different. I thought they stayed the same. They do stay the same on the shared bars. So these will always stay the same no matter what class you go to. You want these as your universal buttons, action items that you'll use through the whole entire game. What are those action items and how do I find them? Well, you hit the 3 lines or start. Okay, I'm just going to call it start. I'm not going to make this complicated. You're going to hit start under character, actions, and traits. These are where you find all your action items for the class you play. Roll, which is melee DPS. All melee DPS have these. Your traits are not able to put on a bar. Orders, if you have a companion, you can put these on your bar for when you... And these are other... Yeah, so starting from orders and down are going to be anything that you have on your universal hotbars or your shared bars. These are universal actions that go across all characters no matter what. These are specific to which role or class you're playing. Traits are just fluff things that don't go on hotbars, that just expand your abilities. That being said, like if I want to be in battle stance, I hit that, I get out of battle stance, I do that again, I get out of battle stance. But you can do that simply just by pressing L3. Stance off, stance on. Stance off, stance on. Okay, so as you can see, I have some of my universal hotbars there. That way I can immediately use the Gator screen to get my Chocobo to follow me, sprint, teleport, return, mount roulette, pop out of mount, boop, 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 giant robot. But let's go back to action bar. Okay, so I changed these, but the top two don't move, and I can't see my top two. Well, what setting are those? Well, I'm going to show you. Those are the cross hotbars. The cross hotbars, I have it on hold because I like to be able to hold. I don't like to toggle them. Toggling means that when you double hit the button, it stays up there until you hit another button, like a left trigger. Okay, specifically, the cross hotbars are for left trigger and right trigger only. If you have them on toggle, you have to hit the left trigger or right trigger to undo them and get them on your normal bars. I like it on hold, that way I don't end up messing up. Cross hotbar, I like the D-pad and action buttons. I like this display. This display, I think... Oh yeah, it just changes the inner line. Or the inner ones. So this is double action bar, this is double D-pad. I like D-pad and action the way it reflects on a controller, as you see. Okay, and then WXB input timer. What does that mean? Well, whichever trigger you have to show the action bars, it is a timer between each consecutive press. So if I go here, here, longer than 0.3 milliseconds, it will not activate. But if I go faster than 0.3, it will pop it up. I really like it at like between 20 and 30. 10 is really fast and it's really hard to hit, but it's doable. So yeah, that's a millisecond on that one. Always display WBX. There's a reason why I have that. And if you see, well, holy cow, I can see the cross hotbar. Yes, because I put it on 3. How do you do that setting? Well, let me go to custom, and then I have PVE. So there's two different types of settings. Expanded controls with left trigger, right trigger, but display with left trigger hold to right trigger to pop up the cross hotbar left and the display hold. And you can change that as easily as you do this one. The double taps, which you select these, choose whichever one you want to be displayed and choreographed. I like left to left and right to right. It's easy. Now, when I have my weapon sheathed, which means it's not out, if I hit the R1 button, it'll toggle to hotbar 1 and hotbar 8. If I have my weapon out, it just flips to 1 and 2. And then PvP, I have expanded it for PvP, same thing. That's only when you're in PvP instance area. So let me show you. Here's toggle 1, and it goes to my universal bar, and toggle 2. This is like the main universal bar items that you'll use all the time, constantly. This is more for, like, I want to change my class. I have emotes that I really like for specific things. You know, like, I want to sit down. Okay, cool. If you sit down near a chair, boop, you pop in the chair. Nothing big to worry about. But if you want some other cool hints, when you're setting up your cross hotbar, when you're at the beginning, you don't have these expanded jobs. Let me go to a job that's one of those. My Bard. Bard starts out as Archer. I have a lot of evolved skills. I don't have any AoE on here because you don't need it. Literally, this is the full Bard kit. You do not need to expand onto the back. I like to expand onto the back for my AoEs, but here I put them on the front bar. Let me go to one of them and show you. My Samurai. My Samurai, I know I have AoE rotations and stuff that I need to keep up with in dungeons, so I like to put that on bar 2. So, bar 1, switch to bar 2, and bar 1. Single target, AoEs. Makes it so much simple. AoE abilities go on that. What are these buttons up here? Well, these are self-buff and people buffs and limit break and other stuff like that. I like to do that. It helps me out so much in the game later on when I'm doing raids, bosses, and stuff. Let me show you a few other controller know-hows that you may need to know. Hey, look, that guy has a targeting dummy. All right, cool. Well, let's target the targeting dummy. As you can see, bam, I'm on the flank, and then combos pop up. It's the little rotating yellow dashes that are on the thing. The next one pops up. Bam. That's my combo, and then I can come over here, use my gauge, and like that. It's that simple, and then I double-click the right button, and I can use Makio, pop up, and use any next level combo, and get me my full flower stripe to unlock on a major ability that I like to put right here, and then right here. That's not the rotation, but it's just what I like to do, and it's what feels good in my hand. Lol, that's what she said. Yay, be adults about it. Or kids, I don't care. How do you reset? Well, while you're attacking things, you can also press the X button, which is like the left click or right click on a mouse that pulls up a secondary window where you can use key items, reset the enemy. If you're targeting an NPC, you can emote this guy and just literally tell him, pray for God, and then slap him. Slap. And then you can focus target him. What's a focus target? Well, as you can see, look at that. And then it's off. But yet I still have that little target. Then I can target this. Oh. Yep. But I can still see the enemy, the main enemy. You usually do this when you have a lot of ads on a single boss in Fates, in world bosses, stuff like that. How do I unfocus it? Well, I target it again, hit the X button, and then bam, focus target gone. Don't have to worry about much. B is to unclick, A is to confirm. Cycling targets. Well, how do you cycle through targets? Well, use the D-pad left and right button. Up and down puts it on self. Up, I like to cycle through party members only. I can't remember how to do that setting, and unfortunately I'm used to just filter targets left and right. So yeah, that's it for mostly how to do hotbars. I hope this helped you out. I'm trying to make this video short and fast and show you that you can play this game using a controller. If you're wondering, well, I mean, can you do raids with that? Is that feasible? I've cleared an ultimate on my main, and there is, with my main on this channel, the full raid of E8S while it was at current, while I'm playing tank. If you watch it, you can see how I'm pressing my buttons, keeping track of all my items. It doesn't really explain it too well because we're going through the raid, but this game is playable fully from a controller. Now, I'm sure you're wondering what happens when you need to talk to somebody or stuff like that. Well, if you hit back a few times, it'll take you to the speech bubble. You can see the hand that's blocked by the little black box in my thing. The little hand's right there. Hope you see it. And then you hit X. You can go there, and then you can actually... Gosh. Unfortunately, I have a keyboard, so the same thing is done when I hit enter, and I can just type all I want. Highly recommend getting the keyboard adapter for your Xbox controller, or just getting a wireless keyboard so you can type stuff in. It will have that crazy Xbox, like, use the mouse button to slowly trigger, or use the D-pad to slowly select the letter that you want, and then hit A to put it in. It has you do that. Honestly, sometimes the sentences in this game are a little bit long or a little bit convoluted. Yes, sentences in this game are case sensitive and punctuation sensitive. So if you have something that say, hey, I need you to target something and say it to this NPC, or I need you to tell this NPC in /say, you're going to hit the placard or target the placard, then hit the back button to that social area. Go to say, and with say on your social area, then type out the message with whichever keyboard you have, and then hit A or enter, and it'll tell that item, that thing in that social bar. It's probably the biggest what do I do here blocker for a few people at the beginning, so I'm telling you this now. That way, if you get stuck, well, don't forget that little hint. So I showed you how to expand your hotbar. I showed you how to find your action items. Please do yourself a favor and read what these are. We got Hazakage to Jinpu. Yes, that's kind of weebish. It's a samurai. You can't really get away from weebing out on samurai. Sorry. As you can see, if you read the description, it has a combo action, Hazakage. So you have to first use Hazakage, then it'll unlock Jinpu, and that means the potency goes up from 120 to 280. Now, you're going to hear some terms from your friend, OGCD. If you've never played an MMO, what the hell is an OGCD? Well, I'll show you because I have enough skills to pay the bills. Just kidding, lol. just decent at this gameplay. Why do I keep trying to turn around? Well, it's because my left stick likes to drift. So, when I attack this enemy, you'll notice that a few of the icons, no matter how much I hit this, it won't use a second attack until that little timer goes up. Everything that is synced with your main timer is a global cooldown. Now you see the little blood ability where I have to use my D-pad to hit this. In between that timer, I can hit that and then hit this. That is an OGCD. That is off the global cooldown timer. You always want this going, and you want to put stuff in between it. I dash back, dash forward. Yep, you want to keep hitting that button, and when things fill, you do that. That's a global cooldown, so I can't really do that. Yeah, so, I mean, it's stuff like that. So when they're telling you use your OGCDs, it's the stuff that doesn't go along with the main timer of your class. I didn't understand that for years. I'm telling you that. That was probably two of the main things that held me back while raiding. Not understanding what all global cooldowns are and not understanding what global cooldowns are. Well, how fast are my global cooldowns? Well, if you go to your actions and you find your main global cooldown, your recast timer is 240. So you can use an off global cooldown in between that. How do you know what's on your global cooldown? Well, it'll share the 240 timer, third eye 15 second. It's an instant cast ability. It's an off global cooldown self buff. This is a 240 cast, this is a 240 cast, this is a 240. So these are, you'll mostly have these, and then your off global cooldown, like this, will be added later in the game. It will not overwhelm you. This will just teach you the basics of your class. Make sure to read these to tell whether or not they're single target or AoE. When you're using AoE abilities, you do not need a main target to hit things. Actually, wow, you do. That's a change. Oh yeah, some abilities you don't need a target. Some abilities you do. I think global cooldowns you do. Here, I'm in range now. Blue and blue. Oh yeah, no, some abilities you don't need a target. I think you just might. Yeah, so no target. Yep. So your normal AoEs you don't need a main target for. I think those are my single target that kind of help the AoEs. But either way, I hope this helps you out. Again, I hope this helps you out. I'm sorry for the rambling. I know this is a 17-minute video. I'm trying to keep these fast. Next, I'll be going into HUD layouts and what the hell all this means. I know it's a lot. We can make this super simple for you by getting rid of hotbars, by showing duty actions, systems, and it's like, hey, yeah. So, next video will be HUD. I'm actually going to use this on one of my on the new character, Belly Joel, to edit the HUD. And then I'll go into the real important stuff of what you're probably going to watch this for is how do I skip the area lock and get to the farther areas early. I'll show you that on Belly Joel. But yep, until then, I hope you enjoy playing Final Fantasy XIV when the beta comes out for Xbox. I really hope to see a lot more Xbox players. I know a few of my friends have been waiting for the Xbox to come out. So, yeah, I count that as a true win for 14. But thank you again. I hope this helps you out. Again, there's better guides out there than just this, especially on Discords. But find out what works for you. I showed you how to expand your hotbar to give you more options. So, other than that, yeah, I hope this clears a few things up and gives you some good advice. All right, thank you. Goodbye.